Let's look at the issue of the USA interfering in Burkina Faso. History has a tendency to echo itself. The imperialists appear eager to recreate a version of Thomas Sankara, a second iteration. During a U.S. Senate hearing, General Langley expressed concerns over Burkina Faso's leadership. He claimed that their military-led government is misusing gold reserves and foreign partnerships. This situation raises significant questions about sovereignty, resource management, and foreign influence.
Hopefully recess. Africa is a mineral-rich, resource-rich continent. Is that correct?
Yes, Chairman.
Okay, and you can leave the microphone on. Which are there success stories for the citizens of African countries when these larger, more prosperous nations or companies from more prosperous areas come in and exploit these minerals? What I'm asking is, does it ever redound to the benefit of the citizens there in Africa?
Chairman, there's very few cases. When the Chinese Communist Party is outed on them pulling out raw materials, not benefiting the populations of the host country, they've been trying to come up with ways how they can stay there and process only at the protests of the people of these African countries that host these mineral resources.
Okay. So is there any exception? Can you point to any success story where the people of one country or one or two countries have actually benefited substantially?
Not on China's behalf.
Not
on China's behalf. Just what happened in Zambia when they had the spillage into the river that services 5 million people. There's just these mining concessions. It just doesn't turn out real well for the African countries.
And do the countries that are receiving entreaties from the Belt and Road Initiative, are they more and more mindful of that now and therefore reluctant?
Yes, and that's where we need to be able to do information operations to illuminate some of the irregularities and some of the malign type activities of the Chinese in African countries.
Information and narratives are power then, aren't they?
Absolutely. And as I said a few minutes ago, and I always will tout this, that we own the facts. We own the facts. We know exactly what the Chinese Communist Party is doing, and to some degree what the Russian Federation is doing in their propaganda operations. But we don't own the narrative. Both of them own the narrative.
We sure don't. One more thing for you, General Langley. The approach that we have had with USAID and the other things like the President's Initiative on AIDS, how does our U.S. approach compare and contrast to the approach of Russia in Africa and also Communist China in Africa?
Oh, Chairman, we've always had the lead. So what you're seeing in those two competitors or challengers, they're following in our wake. They see what works as far as our influence and deepening partnerships through those soft powers, whether it be health diplomacy or whether it be in development type programs. So they're following in our wake, trying to replicate what we do best. And I think the African countries know this, and so this is where, as we start to look at going forward, as State Department starts to reset these programs, looking at what worked and what didn't work, and doubling down on what does work. I think we have enough capital built up in these countries for them to ensure their stabilization and also prosperity. The other two competitors are just trying to replicate what we do best.
I can imagine a situation, though, in which the ruling elite of a country is receiving gratuities on the side that inure to the benefit of the strongman leader and not to the populace of the country. Does that sort of corruption and bribery go on with regard to the Belt and Road?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traoré and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across. Even in Sudan, what's going on with the rapid support forces and Burhan of the Sudan forces, when you get down to it, is all about the revenue.
Langley pointed out that Burkina Faso's Captain Ibrahim Traoré may be prioritizing regime support over the welfare of the Burkinabè people. Their gold reserves are just in exchange to protect the junta regime, he stated. The general also warned about Burkina Faso's increasing alliance with Russia. This relationship, he suggests, might not be beneficial for the citizens and could harm regional stability. AFRICOM's statements reflect a broader worry about China's and Russia's growing presence in Africa, particularly in the Sahel region. The U.S. has its strategic interests in countering these influences. However, accusing Burkina Faso of misusing its resources can feel like an infringement on its sovereignty. Responses from Africa have been strong. South Africa's economic freedom fighters condemned the remarks as imperialist. They emphasize that African countries have the right to manage their resources without foreign interference. The Burkinabè government countered these claims, calling them unjustified and politically biased. They highlighted ongoing improvements in agriculture, health, and security. Their stance is clear. They are committed to serving national interests. Historically, many African nations have struggled with managing their natural resources because of Western imperial interventions. The current situation in Burkina Faso illustrates these neo-colonial tactics. Indeed, as Western countries benefit from African resources, they often overlook the support needed for genuine development. The issue of Burkina Faso's gold reserves highlights a critical issue on sovereignty and historical legacies. While concerns about governance are valid, international actors must engage respectfully with African nations. It's vital to acknowledge their right to self-determination and equitable resource management.
There are those with very sharp eyes who begrudge us for what God has given us. They wish our oil was theirs. They wish our diamonds and gold and all we have by way of underground wealth, all that wealth they wish was their own. How can these natives continue to have that? And when they look at their little island, the little British Isles there, naked with nothing to offer, except now the remains of coal, which they are burning every day. When they look at us and America with its vast territory, with all those automobiles, the flying ones and the ones that run on our roads, the railways, the trains, and they say, the oil we have is not enough, the fuel we have is not enough to sustain us, not enough diesel. Let us store this, ours. There is loss in Africa. They don't know what to do with it in Africa. We will get it by hook or by crook. And they cause wars where there has been peace. Suddenly there is war. Suddenly there is war in Iraq, where Saddam Hussein, he might have been a dictator, but there was peace in his country. They want his oil. And Bush says, no, this man, as an excuse, you must open the door.
As Africans, we need to advocate for constructive dialogue and partnerships that prioritize mutual respect and development aspirations. If you enjoyed this discussion, like and subscribe for more insightful analysis on global affairs.
We are supposed to be free and independent, Mr. Ban Ki-moon. Supposed to be free, the 54 countries. We come to the United Nations, it's ceremonial. Every year, September, we are there. We pay lots of money to go there. And the General Assembly, we make speeches, we go back home, year in, year out. But the bosses in the Security Council say, you shall never have the powers that we have as permanent members. And we have asked and asked and asked. And asked and asked. Reform the Security Council. I want to tell you, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, you are a good man. You are a good man. But of course, we can't make you a fighter. That's not what your mission was. We will fight a fight for our own identity, for our own integrity and personality as Africans. We are Africans.